So why should you join up for hermeneutics in year 2? Hermeneutics is really the study of the principles of interpretation. It's the science and the art of interpretation kind of combined. These are the underlying guiding principles that enable you to rightly divide the Word of God. Now, there are competing principles out there, and I'm going to say you will have inherited contradictory principles of interpretation. And that's because in the Christian world, sadly, from the influence of philosophy and human thought, ideas about how to interpret the Bible have worked their way into the church and have wreaked, I think, havoc is not an overstatement. The reality is the Bible itself teaches us how to interpret the Bible. There are principles that you can discern, that you can discover, that you can itemize and define carefully, which should guide how we interpret the Bible. Now, nothing could be more important. Obviously, when you set out on a journey, if you've got your compass bearing slightly wrong, you can end up in a very, very different place than that which you intended. It's the same with the principles of interpretation. If your compass is off, as it were, when you're interpreting the Bible, you can get into all sorts of difficulty. So what we do in hermeneutics is to study the principles. We study the theory. There's some reading involved, and I get you to write assignments to help you define, to make sure you understand exactly what hermeneutics, a biblical hermeneutic is, but then also to study a little bit of the history of hermeneutics so you can understand how the different theories of interpretation have arisen in the church and the kind of impact that that's had. The final project, which we work on in pieces throughout the year, and finally, by the time you get to the end of the year, you've kind of got the final elements of your whole project together. The main project is really to enable you to clearly be able to define hermeneutics so that you understand the principles, but then to be able to actually analyze 2 different sermons on the same text of the Bible coming from completely opposite interpretive methods, so that you can see how the different theories of hermeneutics work out in practice. It's a lot of fun. It's really helpful. We have a lot of discussion in class. It's much more discussion based. So there's obviously a lot of instruction. There's projects that you have to do, but there's a lot of time in class spent just making sure that you understand it, giving you a chance to ask and interact over this issue. The best advert for hermeneutics is going to be last year's students, so speak to them, and I hope to see you this year. God bless you.